So today we're going to be talking about the Sacred Web Tarot. This is a brand new tarot deck that I just received in the mail from HarperCollins. I'm really excited to be talking about this deck. For those of you who know me, I love gender neutral, gender expansive tarot decks. And this is a brand new deck that I am so excited to add to my collection. If you haven't had a chance to see it already, I highly recommend you check out my other video about gender expansive tarot decks, where I go into the decks that I already have in my collection. And you can find that link here above my head on the top right. So the deck we're going to be talking about today is called the Sacred Web Tarot, and it is by Janie Bui Brown and her son James Brown IV. And this is a mother-son duo who've created this deck. You can see this box is really beautiful. It is black and it has spider webs on it, as well as stars. There's a beautiful galaxy theme. There is a magical, iridescent, colorful rainbow spider web right in the center with a spider on it as well. I feel really drawn to this deck for many different reasons. One of those reasons being that my own healing practice, my own energy practice where I offer tarot is known as our Sacred Web. So the fact that this tarot deck is called the Sacred Web Tarot really resonates with me. It speaks to me on so many different levels. I am so grateful to HarperCollins for sending me this deck. I just really love it, and I cannot wait to offer you all a reading later at the end of this video. So stay tuned, because I am going to be picking a card for the collective for anyone who is watching this video here today. But before I do that, I am so excited to dive deep into this deck. The first thing I want to do is I want to read just a little bit about it here by reading the backside. I'm going to just share it so you can see what it looks like. Let me move it a little bit closer. So there are 78 cards in this deck, and it also comes with a special 79th card that is actually a really beautiful card. In a second, I'm actually going to be giving you an overview so you can see all of the cards. But here is the special 79th card that comes in this box set here. I love it so much. There is so much that you can see in this card, and it's definitely one thing that I love about this deck already is that it is highly intuitive. It really allows you to connect with your intuition. It really allows you to take a moment to reflect, to feel the expansiveness of these cards. But on the back of this box, it says, the Sacred Web Tarot presents a stunning, completely gender-neutral tarot deck and guidebook that offers a transformative tool for self-reflection and insight. Inspired by the narrative of traditional tarot, this multi-spiritual modern approach weaves together the stories of astrology, gemstones, yoga, and the sacred sound of mantra. Join the Sacred Web universe to expand your knowledge of tarot and engender more love and acceptance of self and more compassion for all beings. But before we dive into a review for this deck, I'm going to be sharing what's inside. We're going to be looking at all of the cards, and we're going to also thumb through the guidebook and check out what's inside this beautiful black box. So sit back and relax and enjoy seeing all the contents of this box. I'm going to play some music. I hope you enjoy it. That was so amazing. I love this deck so much. There is so much to appreciate about the way that this tarot deck and guidebook have been constructed. I love the feel of this deck. It feels very soft to your skin. The cards are thick, but not so thick that you can't really bend them. You could actually shuffle them quite easily, and I feel like they definitely feel like they're really good quality paper, and the printing job that's been done on these cards is so beautiful. I love the illustrations that were made by James Brown. They really allow you to open up and tap into that intuitive awareness. There is so much freedom in these drawings, and there is also so much imbued in the design of these cards. So I'll read first the origin stories behind this deck. It says, in January of 2019, a year and a half after suffering a serious traumatic brain injury, my son James drew what we have named Release, the 13th card in the major arcana traditionally called Death. Although many find it to be challenging, even scary, I have always loved the Death card. I relish imagining the possibility that awaits me when I truly let go of something that does not serve. Holding the image of Release, however, I realized that death had become a painful companion for my son. He had watched part of his 20s wither away while he worked to recuperate. I could not change this. I had to surrender any sense that I could fix James, take his pain and carry it for him. All I could do was hold a loving space for him, for I understood that only he could restore his life to himself. Only he could find grace in the darkness. When I saw that tender beauty of Jane's rendering of death, I felt hopeful for the first time in a long time. And so that's something that's really special about this deck, is that there is some real lived experience, and that this deck is also based on a beautiful relationship between a mother and a son. And you really get that sense in looking through this deck and really connecting with it, that there have been so many conversations, that there was so much intention placed into this deck. You really get a sense that this has been hard earned. You know, this knowledge, this wisdom, and this offering didn't come easy. It came with, again, a lot of pain, a lot of cycles, a lot of uncertainty. And as we know, for those of you who are into tarot, there are so many ways that these stories really come through in readings and in the cycle of the tarot. In those 78 cards, we get to witness a story unfolding, and this deck really is no different, but it does it in a way that I feel is really transformative, really healing, really inclusive, and that does invite you to open up and access your intuitive capacities. This is a really great deck for folks who are wanting to have a little bit more freedom to potentially channel, to take a card and allow it to awaken one's oracular senses. A lot of the drawings that James created really do lend themselves to being meditative images that we can really look at for a moment and allow them to open up our heart, to open up our eyes, so that we could start to understand things from different perspectives. And I'll read you here from page 3 something that it says about the introduction of this tarot deck. Tarot provides a space for you to sit with your life experiences and your questions and be present to whatever arises. The cards say, "Come with me. Let us explore together this sacred journey of being alive." Like a door or a magical portal, they invite you to step across the threshold into your potential. Each card is an offering to help you see more clearly the possibility and wild beauty of your embodiment. The 22 cards of the major arcana express the macrocosm of the human experience, the broad philosophical questions: who am I? Why am I here? What is my soul's purpose? The 56 cards in the minor arcana explore the microcosmic details of human life, the ways you work, how you feel, how you create, how you think. We offer an extra 79th card that takes you beyond the material world of your existence and returns you to your soul's essence of light and love. Just like the way in which the spider weaving its web can inform us of the nature of life, The Sacred Web Tarot asks you to consider that every experience, every energy that you encounter is here to teach and transform. In this way, the Sacred Web Tarot celebrates all experiences, the shadow, the challenge, the problem at hand, and the light. We would suggest that in many ways, the shadow is the great teacher. It provides you with the opportunity to be present to your experiences without judgment, to find the courage to face a difficult moment, to learn from it, and release it so that you can move forward. As you approach the hard questions, the troublesome situations, or fraught relationships with intention and empathy, you create a bridge of self-reflection and compassion that leads you to a place of balance, a holy center in which you can begin to experience a sense of deep peace. This deep peace roots itself in the profound energy of self-forgiveness that can only rise out of the belief that you are always worthy, that you are more than enough. The Sacred Web Tarot encourages you, the seeker, to remember that you are always connected to spirit, even in the darkest times, because you are spirit embodied. You are light. You are love. Celebrate that everyone and everything is made of stardust. Know in your holy bones that everything is connected and that everything is sacred. I'm getting chills just reading this because I resonate so much with the messages in this. I feel like one of my own core faiths in this world is to have a faith that everything has meaning, that everything does come to me as a teacher, and that even if something doesn't make sense or maybe appears to be negative in my life, that it is coming to me to serve, to teach, to care for me, to guide me. I recently made a video here where I share about the sacred medicine of the void and how the void can really support us in opening up space for possibility, for change, for transformation. And that really, really connects to the beautiful words that were written here in this guidebook. And a lot of the readings are really powerful in this way. The way that this book really lays out the readings is really beautiful. I'll give you an example here by showing you one of the major arcana. So we're going to look at the Chariot because next year we are moving into the Chariot. That is like the card of the year of 2023. And so here you see the Chariot. There are these beautiful dogs that are in the snow, and there's some spider webs above them. Again, there are a lot of animals, there are a lot of beings in these cards, and we see the spider kind of weaving its way through all of the different cards. And in the explanation, we have a paragraph that shares a little bit about the Chariot, and it also has a one-word kind of distillation of the meaning or of the theme of the card. And then we're also given information about what element connects to this card, what direction, what astrological sign, what crystal, what yoga pose, what chakra it connects to, and also some of the animals and other beings that are in this card. And we also receive a mantra or an affirmation for the card as well. And for the Chariot, I'll read you what the affirmation is. I am at peace with my body, my mind, and my soul, ready to assess the way forward. That is something that I love so much about this deck, is that it is so intentional in the way that it weaves together different understandings and puts it all in an easy to understand language. At the end of this guidebook, there are some beautiful glossaries that share more information about the different elements, the different animals that show up, what their significance is. It also speaks to some of the gems, some of the crystals that are brought in, some of the themes that exist in the major and the minor arcana. It also list them out so that you kind of understand what some of the affirmations are, how these affirmations work together as well. Here's an example of the animals in this guidebook, and these animals appear throughout all of the cards. And when you receive an animal, you can look here in the back and get some more information about what is behind that animal, what is the meaning. And this is also something really great because sometimes we do have animal messengers that come in our lives, and this guidebook really has information about what some of the themes, some of the ways that these animals have certain messages that they're wanting to bring into our lives. So for example, if you're ever visited by a crow, which actually happens to me quite often, the words that are here connected to the crow are communication, intelligence, foresight, perception. And then right underneath the crow is deer, and deer is a sacred being, a sacred ancestor of my people, the Virarica. And for the deer, it says gentleness, understanding, community, well-being, and peace. So beautiful, so magical, and I love that this deck really again transforms a lot of the meaning of the cards and really helps you understand them in a different way. So I'm going to give an example of the way that this deck transforms the meaning and the understanding behind some of these cards. I'm going to, of course, really choose a card that I think a lot of people are really afraid of, and that is the Tower. And so in this book, instead of being called the Tower, it is called the Burn. And the word that is connected to the burn is revolution. And isn't that such a more empowering, transformative way of thinking about the Tower, that it is a moment of revolution? And I'll read you the affirmation that is connected to this card. It says, "Dancing in the fire, I ignite the revolution that I have been waiting for." Yes. So powerful. It is so affirming and also empowering to be able to see the burn as a card of empowerment, of reclamation, of transformation, as a portal moving us into a direction that is more in alignment with the fires we have within, as opposed to something that is happening at us or to us, something that we have no control over, something that we have to just experience and accept, which I think can many times come across in the Tower card. So this tarot deck, like most traditional tarot decks, is divided into the major arcana and the minor arcana. The major arcana, as I said, has a cycle. There is a story there, and I feel like the story's integrity is very much the same as the traditional tarot deck, except with more empowering, more inclusive ways of understanding that story. And then the minor arcana is divided up into the 5 sacred elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And each of these comes with the numbers that are associated with the different elements, as well as what they call the cosmic family, that has the student, the scout, and the source, and the seer. And these different cosmic relations help us really understand the interconnectedness between the different stages, the different themes that move through the minor arcana. And it's also very non-hierarchical, which I really appreciate, because hierarchy is definitely one of the things that makes a lot of people feel excluded from traditional tarot decks. This is a deck that I'm going to be working a lot with, and I'm going to be sharing with my clients, and that I'm going to be using a lot for my own personal tarot readings. I'm so excited to be offering you all a 1-card tarot reading as a way to say thank you for making it to this part of the video. Just starting to shuffle, I'm definitely getting some messages, some downloads that are starting to come. So that always for me is a really great sign of a tarot deck, when it starts to activate your own psychic abilities as you're just starting to play with it, as you're starting to move the cards around. So just want to give everyone a second here to set an intention, to ask a question. Feel free to share it in the comments below. Just let me know what that question is that you're asking, what you're wanting to know from this tarot deck. And I just picked a card. Ooh, oh, I love this card. It's so beautiful. So we get Source of Air. I love this card so much, and I'm going to just read what it says in the book, just so that we get the words from the author, so that we just really hear how they want us to understand it. But I also want to ask you to just be open to see what comes through for you as we're sharing the words and the images here of this card. Again, just looking at it, it reminds me so much of a practice I have of holding my hands to the universe, of feeling source, feeling spirit, feeling love move into my hands. It is a receiving practice that I've been developing, and personally, one that allows me to feel like I'm receiving all the love and the care, the support from the universe. So I'm already feeling that, and I'm feeling the winds also of the element of air moving through this reading, clearing, transforming, spreading this information out, expanding this message out into the community. And so with that, I want to just invite you to share this message with a loved one, to really share the message of this tarot deck and the message of this card with community. That is a big aspect of the element of air, is that it really asks us to communicate, to share, to really spread the word, And so I'm going to look it up here in this deck. One thing I love about this deck is that it's really well organized. It has everything in a very easy to find way, and each card is printed inside the book right next to the words that are associated with it, which makes it really easy. And the cards are lined in order, and so it just makes it really easy to find whenever you're looking for it. I'm gonna read you what it says here for Source of Air. The source of air holds a space for you to convey the secrets of your heart. They help you to balance the mental and emotional realms of your existence while encouraging you to trust in your own wisdom and all that you cannot see but feel so deeply. Ooh. The source of air calls upon you to be the caretaker of your own splendid truth. They invite you into the amazing spiral dance of life, the space of pure potential, the authentic expression of your soul. The source of air is here to fortify you, to show you how to create healing boundaries so that you can honestly express your thoughts and articulate your vision. They want you to understand that healthy boundaries are one of the deepest forms of love. Within the source of air, you conceive a deep capacity to love yourself and others unconditionally. Here, thoughts and words can no longer harm you, for you are fierce and flawless just as you are. And so the one word distillation here for this card is authenticity. It is connected to the Varada Mudra and to the spiral and cosmic sky. And so I'm going to just look in the back to see what is said about the spiral and cosmic sky, because there is also in the back information about some of the different symbols as well as the different animals. So spiral says cycles, natural life, change, protection, generative force, evolution, consciousness, transformation. And cosmic sky, it says beauty, spiritual essence, divine magic, sacred wonder. And last but definitely not least, I'm gonna read to you the mantra, the affirmation for this card, the source of air. Trusting in the authentic expression of my soul, I embrace my fierce and flawless self. Ooh, just gonna give you a few seconds with that. Wow. Definitely getting chills as I do this reading, and really sitting with that word authenticity, what that means, what it means for us to allow ourselves to be our authentic selves. And as this deck also mentions, what it means for us to create the boundaries, the space for us to be our authentic selves, knowing that boundaries come from a place of love. I really hope that can be supportive for all of you, and I really hope that you get a chance to play with this deck, that you get a chance to do some readings with this deck. I'm definitely going to be offering some readings with this tarot deck once I feel a little bit more skilled and adept at it. Okay, so hi. This is a couple days after I filmed the last bit you just watched, but I had some issues with my sound on my camera. I think I might need a new mic. But just wanted to say overall, I love this deck so much. I find it to be a truly oracular deck, one that you can really allow your intuition, your imagination, your creativity to flow through. It is such a beautiful collaboration between two people. I love collaborating myself as an artist, and it makes me so happy to see these types of collaborations out in the world. I have not shared very much about this here on my channel, but I actually am going to be a part of a collaborative tarot deck that's going to be coming out very soon. I'm actually going to be announcing about it very soon. And yeah, I am all about collaborative tarot decks. I feel like it's really important to have us come together to build that web, to be able to create together and make offerings for our community, and to really also highlight the ways that we can show up and support each other. And I really feel that throughout this deck, that this deck really is about offering spiritual support, offering care, and I really see that even through the process of making it, it really seems like it was a really healing process for the creators as well. I am a big proponent of saying that art is a healing practice, that we can integrate art into our self-care, and I really love that this deck puts it at the forefront. And in the same way, tarot is a self-care practice. Tarot is a way of us making space for our selves. And I know a lot of people that combine tarot with art practice. I know a lot of people that see tarot as a way of grounding, as a way of reflecting, processing. Overall, super happy and excited to be including this deck in my collection of gender expansive, gender neutral decks. And I want to just also invite you to check this deck out. Many thanks to HarperCollins for sending me this deck. I would love to continue reviewing decks, and if you know of any other gender expansive tarot decks that exist out there, I would love for you to share with me, because I'm always looking to find out about new ones, because I know so many queer, trans, gender expansive, gender fluid, gender non-conforming, gender euphoric people out there love to know about these types of decks, and I know that you work with them too. So definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what kinds of decks you would like for me to talk about, and also make sure you subscribe and you give a like. All of this helps us out here in this part of the internet here that we are in, and I just want to say thank you for making it to this part of the video. I send many blessings and much love. Talk to you soon. Bye.